Let's take a look at the new game that's a PvP VE called Hood Outlaws and Legends. Oh, and one more thing. Welcome to the night shift. Let's get you guys clocked in. How's it going, everybody? It is I, your one and only shift leader, Logan, and I'm joined by the none other, always reliable, always dependable co-worker, Connor. How you doing, Connor?
Save me, he has me hostage.
Listen, I want it known that I am not holding him against his will. He's here voluntarily, even though
No, I'm not.
we have somewhat agreeable / disagreeable takes on this game. But we're not here for that. We're here about
peanuts. What does he
We're
think
here-
I am? An elephant?
Yes. We're here to talk about Hood Outlaw Legends, the PvPvE game that released about the same time that Resident Evil 8 did, and I'm not going to mince words. I wasn't necessarily all that impressed with this game. How about you, Connor? Where are you at on it?
No.
No?
No.
Not liking that at all.
It has a lot of issues, man.
All right. Well, let's unpack all those issues, because if you haven't joined us before, we judge these games on a try-to-be-fair basis on 4 categories: story, gameplay, audios and visuals, and any bugs or issues that we came across the way when we played this game. So,
My man's talking at hyperspeed over here.
I try. I try to take the advice I got and try and talk a little bit quicker. So, that all being said, let's jump right in, and we'll start with story because there's really nothing really to talk about. It's a little weird for me. I'm a big story man, but really, as long as you've read, even watched one of the renditions of Robin Hood, you know the story already. It's really not a story-based game. Am I wrong?
It is not. For the category story, honestly, you could just say NA. Not applicable.
You could, but just to be fair, we'll say like what, a 5, just to kind of be like, yeah,
Yeah.
there's some stuff there,
Look,
if you
just wait.
there's some stuff there, but there's not stuff there either. So we'll just say a 5 for sure, and then we'll move on to gameplay, which is supposed to be the strongest portion of this game, yet I feel like it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree. There are a lot of issues with the gameplay. I felt like, for one, I felt like the gameplay wasn't necessarily working with this PvP/E mode.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Like, in the game, I'm just thinking... So we have to... The objectives of the game, right, are to steal the key from the sheriff, then you use the key to unlock the vault door, and then you try to take the chest to an area to winch it out to get the loot,
Yeah.
And basically, you have all these NPC enemies, and
Which are super difficult. They're super difficult.
And there's tons of them, and they keep spawning. You can't kill them all. They just keep respawning, and then you have the enemy team, which are real people. And so if they get the chest, you have to, and there are these points that you have to capture. You have to run towards them through all of these enemies, who will then proceed to chase you and shoot you, and if you run by the sheriff, insta-kill you.
Yes. I actually just had a thought. It's basically like if you've played Valorant, but with NPCs. It's literally that.
Yeah, but you're just thinking of I don't know what they're called. It's the same type of game as Rainbow Six Siege and stuff like that. It's just like an arena battle type thing.
Yeah. But yeah, it just doesn't work, I don't think. And then I feel like there was so many issues with just the core gameplay. Like the melee wasn't all that great. It felt like almost an afterthought, and the the hitboxes were really off and weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all those things combined just really made it for a weak showing. Really, I, I not to mention like you have melee characters, like they focus on melee, and you run out of stamina so fast that it's not even funny. And once you're out of stamina, you're literally just like a helpless puppy.
Well, that's not really true. If you were a helpless puppy, no one would beat you up, but they do. So.
True.
But
yeah, I get you. I get you.
good.
So going off of that, we're on to audios and visuals, and I feel like it was pretty nice. It looks really nice. You've got this beautiful world. You've got this beautiful world of Robin Hood that most people almost kind of romance. Like, oh, it's this enchanted forest, and they're defeating the bad guys. Blah blah blah. Whereas this is more of like a grungy, like realistic kind of take on Robin Hood. Like,
Yeah.
each character is a character from Robin Hood, but they look way different. Like Robin Hood, he hides his face the entire time. He's always wearing some sort of mask, and it's tattered clothes, and pelts and stuff like that. And that to me speaks more of like, oh, that's Robin Hood, than
It's
like
the type of game that like makes you question your childhood, and
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah.
you're
And then,
just
like,
scarred for life.
well, I mean, with Friar Tuck for sure, because
Yeah.
because he's not a friar anymore. I'm pretty sure he's a cultist.
I mean, he might fry people, but
I mean, yeah, for sure. That is the weirdest thing ever, turning Friar Tuck into a cultist. And I wish I was kidding.
Full body tattoos.
Yeah, like he literally looks like one. But
Yeah.
it looks great. The worlds look so good, and of course you have like Heidi bushes, like most games do now, and they're very clear to see which ones are and which ones aren't, and it's just interesting environments. That being said, audio-wise, I feel like it's a little bit on the like it does its job and nothing else side, which there's nothing wrong with that. There are some games where like music takes the front and center scene and like deserves to be recognized, and this just isn't one of them. Now that being said, the voice acting was really enjoyable. Oh, I know, Connor, you were saying earlier that being around the sheriff, he cracks you up.
If the sheriff weren't so scary, like I would hang out with the man.
You
But
would,
instead, he's extremely scary, so we just try to avoid him. You know.
Fair. So, but even like the just regular NPCs, they say funny stuff like, like, oh, somebody's in this bush over here or something like that, and they'll say it constantly, and it's just something enjoyable for the world.
What I find even more enjoyable is like sometimes they'll have this like bright idea and say like something crazy like I'm gonna kill you, and I just find it so funny because they think they can.
That being said, though, we did run into, I would say, a few, but I feel like, Connor, you would say more than that. Glitches.
Your few means more than a few to me.
Yeah, we've ran into quite a few. In fact, actually, right before we started recording, we ran into even more. So it's been interesting. We've had where you aim and you're like as Friar Took, and Your flail won't spin. It freaks out about that. It just freaks out in general at random times. We've had hitbox issues. We've had where melee attacks don't work. I've had an instance where playing as Marion, she has a uh, invisibility ability. Jeez, that I felt like I was gonna say a weird, but I guess I wasn't. That's why I paused. Um, but it didn't work against even NPCs. Apparently, when you're against players, you're just transparent. But even then, I felt like I was almost like just seen as normal. So, but there's just a lot of issues. I don't know. I'm probably missing some, but
Mm, you said hitboxes are really bad, right?
yeah, I talked about the hitboxes.
Because for me, that's the worst one.
Yeah, I agree. Because with Robin Hood, you're supposed to, with headshots, almost guaranteedly get a insta kill. There's only a few instances where that's not so, like Knights and uh, the Sheriff, and there have been a lot of times where that's not the case. And that being said, also that also is a it does work on players as well. So that's an annoying thing as well.
It's kind of overpowered.
Yes.
Robin's kind of the meta, if you have a meta.
Yeah, but only if you, I guess, apparently if you're good.
Yeah,
But
that is kind of a requirement.
yeah,
Although people that are good are the only people that use meta, I guess.
that's true. But that all being said, like let's get straight into our scores. Again, like I said, there's not much for story, so I think we're just going to leave that at a 5. And that's not to take away from the game. That's just to kind of give it a base deal because it really doesn't. It's not supposed to rely on that. So even us giving a 5 is, I think, being generous.
I mean, I was saying we just leave it at an A and stuff, but
I mean, we can do that if you want.
if you don't want to take away from the game for not having a story, then put it at an A.
All right,
If you want to take away from it for not having a story, then I'd put it at 5.
my only thing is, I feel like it's missing some things like lore or something. It doesn't even
So
have
put it
anything
at
like
5.
that. That's my biggest thing, and that's just my opinion. So, if my opinion's wrong for you, then I'm sorry, but
Then go get
that's
new opinions.
yeah, that's just my
We're just
opinion.
kidding.
Yeah, please,
We're just
please
kidding.
don't hate
sue.
us. Yeah,
Don't
please
sue.
don't hate us. Yeah, please don't.
Don't sue me.
But
I'm a lawyer.
that
No, I'm
being
not.
said, so a 5. So then gameplay, where this game is supposed to do its best, but it doesn't. So I'm sitting at. I feel like I'm sitting at a. I feel like I can't give it anything above a 5.
The gameplay?
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think.
Yeah, and I think my general score would be anywhere from a 5.5 to a 6. But don't mistake my score. I do not like the game. I just don't hate it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the game, and it's just that I'm not too keen on it, and for me, it was lacking in some things, and we'll talk about at the end end here about some ideas that we had that might make it a little bit better, but so combined, that's not bad. 5, you said, so your highest was a 6. I said 5, so 5.5. So we got a 5 and a 5.5, and then turn around audios and visuals. I thought, just because really in all sense of the word it did its job, and it does look good, and in some places it even outdoes some games that came out as well. I feel like I'd be okay with saying a 7.
And honestly, just thinking about it again. Whenever you shoot arrows, you know, you said this earlier ago. Not to the people. You said it to me.
Mm.
When you shoot arrows, it actually disappears from your quiver, and you can see the difference. And
Yeah.
I think it's just the small details that make great things.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it like an 8.
Okay, so a 7.5 combined. That's not bad. So really, honestly, we have a 5, a 5.5, and a 7, and yeah, a 7
And a half.
and a half. Yeah, sorry, my bad. My brain's failing on me already. Good lord.
I mean, it's better than a 7.3, which is an inside joke you guys wouldn't get. So haha.
Yeah. So all in all, I would say what? 6.5, maybe. Yeah, because what, we got a 5, 5.5, and a 7.5. So yeah, I would say a 6.5, somewhere around there.
6.25.
I'm gonna round up to 6.5.
You can round up to 6.3, sir.
I'm just rounding up to 6.5. So that's gonna be our score for Hood Outlaw Legends, a 6.5. It's not our best showing, but I think that really honestly fairly depicts where it's at now. That being said,
And keep in mind, this is all just, I'm speaking first, sir. Okay, keep in mind, though, this is all from, yeah, that's right, get roasted. Alright,
okay.
Keep in mind, though, that this is all from just, like, a beginner's kind of experience. Like, and everyone has different experiences. This is our experience with it, just as, like, newcomers to the game. We don't... If you don't like a game when you start it, you have no motivation to play it.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is...
We don't have a lot.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing is this is a new IP. It's a genre that's out there. It's that PvP genre, but, I mean... Which is becoming more and more, you know, popular. But... like I said, I can't help but feel like there's some things that need to be improved. And I think a lot of those things that can help this game grow and really would make me feel like coming back are like fixing those hitbox issues, balancing characters out so that it's not overpowered or underpowered.
Disabling PvP.
I personally, that's again our personal preference. I agree with you. I think what would make
I don't think
this
they
game...
need to disable it. I just wish they would make a mode where you could play without PvP.
Yeah, where you can level up your characters. I would like that. Like,
And in that instance, they could keep the PvP.
Yeah, like have a PvP VE mode, but then also have like a PvE mode where players who want to enjoy this game but aren't necessarily as good or enjoy PvP, you know, can come in and play this game and enjoy it for what they enjoy.
And technically, if we're talking about this, because I know if we don't say it, someone will say it if anyone actually watches the video. Technically, yeah, you can play with just you against. They're called the state. It's the PvE thing.
Right.
Technically, you can, but you don't get rewards, XP, or gold, or anything like that.
And what we're saying is to make that its own mode and that can be used to level up and gain experience and all that stuff, which I think would be a nice addition to the game. But again, the biggest things are fixing those glitches and issues and balancing characters, which I think would help a long ways with, I think, just helping the player base feel like battles are even. Not to mention fixing matchmaking so that I think when we were playing, it was like, what, character rank like 1 or 2 at max, and not paired with a character rank of like 57.
Yeah. And not to mention, it took like 10 minutes just to get into one game.
True.
which we then proceeded to not enjoy because we just got domed repeatedly
Exactly.
by a robin.
Yes.
Which I then proceeded to dome right back.
So, but those are just some of the thoughts that we had on what would make this game more enjoyable. But again, like I was saying, if some of these opinions or thoughts on the game don't match yours, that's okay. Like I said, we're just speaking our minds on the game so that, you know, if anybody is interested in the game, they can see gameplay, hear our thoughts on it, and, you know, decide whether or not they want to spend that $30 for this game, which thankfully that I think is a nice contender price for this game. I think if this game was in fact like a $60 game, I would be much more salty about it. I'd be a little bit more salty about it. But that being said, I don't think I've got anything else to say to you, Connor. You got anything?
You have a face,
Fair
and
enough.
it is beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well,
now call my face beautiful back.
You got a beautiful face. Back.
Thank you. And so do you, all of you viewers.
Yeah. So I think that's what... Oh, God. Don't pick on Timmy. All right. Well, that's all we got for us for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment, tell us what you guys want us to play next, or, you know, just let us know how we did. We're always eager to talk to you guys. And be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chance to clock in and join us on our next adventure. I'll see you guys next time.